Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. Use code DNVR when you sign up for that new account. Get amazing odds boost. Bet against the Avs when they're essentially the Colorado Eagles, apparently. I'm your host, Rudo, joined by Blaze Hunter, AJ Hafley, hopefully joined by someone you all will probably know very, very soon, thanks to Loquat Hockey and the Avalanche alumni.
I tweeted it out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. We keep talking about it like it's a big secret, and it's like...
Thanks, AJ.
I tweeted it out, guys.
I know, but, you know...
It's cool.
I don't want to announce the man until he's ready to come on the show.
Yo, too true.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Too true.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Dude, you right. You right.
Avs lose this one 5-3. All right, this is a tale of two things, because line one is the Avs had zero business being anywhere in this hockey game entirely.
Nah, it's not true.
Line two is what is kicking a hockey puck? What is it?
Well, we've learned that if you kick it with the outside of your skate, it's not kicking.
It's good, yeah.
Inside, definitely a kick.
Now, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what you guys want. It was a good call.
Was it?
Yeah. It's the
Was
right
it?
call.
Was his other skate behind the goal line?
Doesn't matter.
Unfortunately,
Once it's kicked,
Based on how the rule's written, it doesn't matter. It's the right call.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
according
okay.
to the rule book, if a player kicks it and it deflects off of anyone or anything, it's still a kick. But
So if I were to kick a puck right off of Rudo's face and it were to go into the net, it would not count.
It still wouldn't count because we are on different teams.
But if it hit the stick on the way in, it's goal.
tremendous.
You should do that during a manscape read.
Okay.
you got to kick it off something else if it's during a man's
Can I get a puck?
Hey. Oh, God.
After
not that
dark
big.
already.
I actually had Joe. We met Joe tonight at the bar. He didn't even say hello before he said, "You have so much patience."
You're gonna need that patience tonight.
You should have seen it before we went live.
Oh, God.
You think she has? She thinks she's patient on the show before the show. It was out of control.
So, I mean, look, by the rule book, to just kick that puck in, yeah, probably. But we are in day 5 of the NHL season.
Time is a construct.
I know, and we've seen multiple.
It's all made up.
We've seen multiple pucks get kicked directly into the net and count. That's all I'm saying.
Look, the Chandler Stevenson thing in Vegas was insane. Homie kicked that puck. I don't know what you want from me.
100%.
He straight up kicked that thing in.
So
Between that and the Department of Player Safety calls on
the broadcast argument of
come on,
it was kicked with the outside of his foot. And it
as
was
if
like,
soccer players don't do that every day.
It's like, all right, if I'm going to run up and kick you in the nuts and I use the outside of my foot, did I not just kick you in the nuts? What did I do then? Like, what's happening here?
Rochambeau outside of the foot only? Is that what we're going for
I was
here?
like, bro, like, what's happening? There was clearly a kick. What are you talking about? The outside of the foot. But, you know, different game, different situation.
Nope.
It's fine.
Sorta.
I mean, he based on how that rule is written and applied and interpreted, it's the right call.
On the
It's
rule
just-
book, Tyson Joe's kicked the shit out of it.
It's such a bummer because it was such a satisfying, and like that it was Jost and that it was like they had tied it and like fuck St. Louis and it was just all of it was just awesome.
The bar went
Yeah.
wild.
The bar closed because of the private event going on here tonight. So not full capacity, sounded full capacity.
Oh my God.
How could you not though? Like, how long did the Avs have the goalie pulled for?
Yeah. They scored.
Multiple times.
They scored.
And like we're talking in the Jared Bednar era, there have been how many goals scored with the goaltender pulled?
Yeah.
It's been like 5.
Not a lot.
And they scored what, 3 tonight?
I think it was
Two that counted.
two that
Two and a
counted.
half.
2.5.
2.5 goals.
Can they
Two and a
lose
pretend.
5-3.5?
Just to push the goal line.
Really mess up that over-under that people are betting on? What do you mean 3.5?
What is this?
Look. The Avs There's a million ways they could have won this game without, needing to score 3 goals in the last 7 minutes.
Yo, it starts with Darcy Kemper.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Make a save, bro.
They didn't get one.
These are
Particularly.
not like bouncy pucks that are deflecting and going all crazy. He's just getting beat.
Yeah.
Particularly
and beat.
He looked like he was struggling
in the
Yeah,
second
for sure.
period.
He just got beat.
Yeah.
He gives up 2 goals on 3 shots in the second period.
And you're like, oh, what's he gonna be like behind this Colorado defense?
And
Well,
arguably,
guess what? It looked a lot like what Hunter Miska looked like. It just wasn't good enough
Now-
tonight. Like, look, I wrote a whole nice thing, glowing article about Darcy Kemper after game 1, but after game 2, that was for tonight. They needed Darcy Kemper to be at least on his like B+ game, and you just getting beat cleanly. That's just not good enough. This doesn't take away from him being a great goaltender. Doesn't take away from my belief that he's going to win the Vezina. It doesn't take any of that away. But tonight it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Scott, do you want to be on the show? No? All right. You're good. Just throwing it out there.
You can be on.
You're welcome to be on if you'd like to be. LaCroix hockey in the house. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he was ready for it. You caught
That's
him off
fine.
guard.
That's fine. If you feel like it later, come on the show. Look, I don't know where the show's going to go tonight. There's a good chance that we just have a rotating cast of random people coming on this show in about 45 minutes.
I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so
We'll just start pulling from the bar. At
that's
some
what
point.
I'm
It'll be
saying.
Great.
Yeah,
You
but
come talk.
whatever works. For the hockey game itself, let's be real. Expectations were not high given the lineup that the Avalanche put out there.
Well, and then
No.
Stefan Matteau getting hurt and playing 3 minutes. It just compounds your problem.
All right, so we'll get into reasons why it ended up this way in a little bit, but for the entire second half of the game, the Avs essentially played 10 forwards and 5 defensemen.
And outplayed
Yes.
St. Louis.
Yep.
especially in the second period. Looked great.
Dude.
Didn't have the goaltending, but looked great in the second period.
Dude.
Came out on fire.
What more could you have? I mean, goals would be the,
Yeah.
I guess, the answer.
Well,
Well,
Finishing
sure,
ability
okay.
was
So,
it.
But
you
I
had to
mean,
pull
what
the goalie to get up
realistically,
there.
like, what
Yeah.
more are you asking for from your team there? They're playing their ass off.
Yeah.
They're outplaying the other team. They're not giving anything up defensively. You give up 3 shots. 3. They're not taking penalties, so they're not playing undisciplined hockey.
Yep.
They're not putting themselves in bad spots. All of your, I can't say all 4 lines because there weren't 4 lines.
There's
Three
and a guy.
All
That
combinations
guy's
of your
rotating through the
lines.
lines.
Yeah. 5 of your 10 forwards are really going hard and making an impact and making a difference. Your top 2 defenders are both playing really, really well.
Yeah.
In Gerard and Makar.
I don't think Gerard played that well.
All right, well, you're welcome to be wrong, man. If that's the stance that you want to take, I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable with you being wrong about that.
And who
But, like,
was the sassy one?
But Byram and EJ took a big step back as a pairing from game 1. It didn't really matter that much. Like they survived those mistakes.
I think we should quantify this before we get into anyone specific. The lineup was complete nonsense.
Oh yeah.
Every single person on this lineup played with everyone else in the lineup. Like, Sampo Ranta was centering Dylan Segura and Stefan Matteau at one point. This lineup was insane.
Look, socialism is taking over.
This socialism or communism? I don't know.
There doesn't.
Well, according to
I'm gonna
half
avoid
America,
Yes, let's redirect the conversation.
I immediately regret this.
Shall we go to King of the Game?
Sure.
How can we redirect this?
Look,
I didn't even mean to put that on here.
in a
That was
lineup
literally-
of nonsense.
Yes, get her, Joey. Get her, Joey.
Go, Joey!
I don't even know how that.
In a lineup of nonsense,
We manifested that comment to appear on the screen.
it took a while for it to show up on the scoreboard. But a guy that the Avs have been desperate to get more out of, JT Compher.
Well, and I mean, yeah,
had a great game tonight.
like was good and very noticeable in game 1,
Yeah.
and then tonight was like, hey, they need you to step up. He's all over the place.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, how is this the same human being that zombied his way through all of last year? Like he was all over the place. There was so much good out of JT Compher tonight. Like this was the JT Compher that we used to call Ginger Drury. Like this was the one that you dreamed on when he was younger.
Yeah.
Because he just made so many different impacts throughout the game. You know, it was a nice play on the PK here. He wins an important faceoff there. He chips a puck there. He hits a guy there. He scores a goal there. Grabs an assist. Like there's like JT was all like there was a lot of good from JT Compher tonight. And like you're gonna have a hard time winning in the NHL when he's your best player. And I don't think he was tonight, but I do think it was good enough to be king of the game.
Look, that's
where we were.
It's a weird scenario, right? Because you can argue who was the best player in the game, but at the end of the night, and what this game was, the Avs desperately needed finishing ability. And when the Avs needed it most, JT finished a goal.
Yeah.
Sure, it wasn't high skill, fire a puck and beat Jordan Binnington. It was slamming home a rebound.
Well, when a guy is locked in,
Yeah.
the way that Binnington was, I mean, that save that he had on Mikko Rantanen's one-timer, like, when a guy is locked in like that, it's going to take something a little greasier to beat a guy.
You got to say,
and that's what they got.
Bennington played great tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
did.
that save on Mikko Rantanen is world-class.
Oh, unreal.
It's
Going side to
Going
side.
to the side and
reads
then grabbing it.
It's perfectly timed.
Yeah.
He's got it. It was...
if you ignore the lineups and you just look at the box score of this game without looking at names, St. Louis got a big save out of Binnington, and the Avs really didn't get one out of Kemper.
Yeah. I mean, they got a couple of decent saves to keep things close while St. Louis was pushing early on in the first period. But again, you look at that second period, and that's where separation happened. 2 goals on 3 shots. Like, that's the thing. That ended up being the big difference there, is that they got the goaltending out of Binnington. They got, hey, it's a 1-goal league.
Yep.
1st to 3. And when you're struggling and you're missing so many of your star offensive players, you've got to manufacture some goals. You've got to figure some stuff out. And straight up tonight, they got more than they got enough from a lot of their guys up front. It comes back to Kemper.
Well, I thought they got a lot more from up front. I mean, considering that you have like 2 or 3 guys that are basically on the top 2 lines right up there tonight, and then you have basically a bottom 6 forward line out there with some Eagles guys filling in.
Yeah,
they played pretty well. I thought Jost played well as well.
Yeah,
I thought he played.
I think if you're looking at a guy that didn't play well, it starts with Darcy Kemper, and then it goes to Curtis McDermott.
And this is, look, hang on. Before we get into this, you're going to want to drink a Breck Brew. So go get yourself some.
I wish I had one.
Head on down to the
Make
bar.
that happen.
Not tonight, unless you bought a ticket, in which case, why aren't you here already? But tomorrow, go get yourself down to the DNVR bar. Get yourself a Breck Brew. Come enjoy your time here. You can also get it at your local liquor store, if that's your thing. Go check them out. They're delicious. I got myself an Avalanche right here, enjoying it deliciously. Allie's looking at me like I messed up.
No, AJ, what Breck Brew do you want?
Vanilla Porter would be amazing.
Okay, someone will get you that. Blaze?
What?
Beer.
Beer?
I'll do the same thing.
Okay.
My man.
Keeping it simple.
Good taste.
Vanilla porters and grilled cheese up in this piss.
That's how
I
you
did-
know.
I did
That's
wings.
how you know somebody having a good night.
Wings all right, too.
It's my go-to.
Wings all right, too. So check out Breck Brew.
Yeah.
Hit up Strava Craft Coffee as well. If you go online, you can get 25% off right now with code DNVR25. Use the code, you nerds, DNVR25. Not only does it get you 25% off, it lets you know we sent you over there. So
Thank you.
Strava's got you covered. It's your morning coffee, and it's your morning Advil in one go. Sure, it's CBD, but it
That's
takes
your
care of the
morning
same thing. It takes care of the aches and pains, the migraines, the headaches, whatever you got, they got you covered. So go get yourself some Strava today. If you really love it, you can get their subscription service, which gives you 20% off for life. So jump on it. Go get your stuff. I already talked about the bar. We got the party bus coming up this weekend, gentlemen. $35. You get
For
a
Raider Week, no less.
for Raider Week.
Yeah.
You get a Raider Week without John Gruden, by the way. You get a bus ticket to and from the game. You get to go to the DNVR tailgate, which includes all you can drink, Breck Brew, all you can eat, sexy pizza.
Sexy pizza.
Let's go.
I always reiterate, Rudo was not making a pass at the pizza. It's what the pizza is called.
Look, that pizza,
It could be one and the same.
yeah, it do be sexy though. It do be.
It sure do be like that.
Sometimes.
True.
That be how it is. In any case, second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Curtis McDermott. He played fine in the first period.
No, he didn't.
Sure he did. He got
No, he didn't.
He got away with it. Let's put it that way then.
That dude had an entire shift. Okay? An entire shift as an NHL defenseman where he stood within the same 4-foot little box and all he did was turn around because the puck was getting rimmed around and he wasn't close enough or fast enough or anything to be competitive. So he just kept standing there and watching, and then it ended with a shot going into Kemper's chest in which he froze it. And you're like, that's probably the best case scenario for a Curtis McDermott shift.
And
That was the best case scenario because the goal.
Because when Braden Shen got him in open ice.
I mean, look, there should
That goal.
someone with a video editing capability in this chat, please make a Shooting Stars meme of Curtis McDermott reaching with his stick. Like, it's just like this, and then flying through outer space the whole time.
I can hear that stupid song where he spins. And
Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
Because that happened, and Curtis McDermott got 100% dunked on. That was, 5 minutes into the second period? He played, I think he played
Big
2
goal.
minutes and 30 seconds the rest of the night.
I mean,
that
big goal because Colorado's pushing. To start the second period, they're down 1-0.
And they're pouring it on,
And they found their footing. Their speed, even with all the randos in the lineup, their speed is making a difference. They're getting in on the forecheck. They're attacking. They're dictating the game.
Yeah.
Like, they're controlling the game. And you get Curtis McDermott in open ice one time, and the guy gets danced, and Braden Shen beats it. And
It's
and
not
again,
even like open ice, honestly.
well, and it's
but
again, like, it's like Darcy Kemper. Like, come on, man.
you got to make
Yeah.
one.
Come on, man.
You got to make
You got
one.
to steal one of those. I mean,
Yeah.
great point, because in the first period there was no sustained pressure in the offensive zone for the
Yeah.
Avs whatsoever, right? Obviously, they go back to the locker room, talk about it, fix it, and come out on fire. And then what happens is you have just a total letdown on the defensive and goal side.
Yeah. I mean, second goal, third goal, one of those two in the second period had to be stopped.
Yeah. I really thought they were going to pack it in, but they kept pushing.
They did. Credit to the dudes on the ice. They continued to play with everything they had. It certainly there. It's just, was this even a fair matchup from the get-go, let alone...
Yeah, I mean, this was an uphill battle from the start. Like,
Yeah.
missing the guys and then Mateau going down. Like, Seven Mateau may not be great shakes, but when you go down to
Another
10
player?
forwards,
Yeah, brutal.
When you go down to 10 forwards in a game where you had 11 to start with,
Yeah.
and you've got a sixth guy as your defenseman that you tried to play as your,
And you
wanted to play him as an
you
extra
literally
forward,
can't put him on the ice.
right? And you're afraid to play him at that point. Like, it's, golly, it's tough. Like, that is a tough go.
Yeah, it's not a good build.
Like,
Not a
it
good
is.
look.
You need you. What are the elements that you need? All right, don't mess around with special teams. Don't take penalties. Don't give them free opportunities, and get good goaltending and play great defense. They checked 2 of those 3 boxes.
Yeah.
And like, to expect them to get 0 penalties on the night would have been unrealistic.
Yep.
That said, Sampo Ranta, buddy,
What are you doing?
after a 4 penalty game, you would have thought,
That's
all right,
the one thing he's not going to do,
Yeah.
right? And
I'm going to go 2 weeks without a penalty so that they forget that this happened. You're in game 2.
Yep.
And that one...
And you just watched a massive lineup realignment, in part because one of the other young guys in the lineup
didn't
was not
play
playing
well
well.
enough. Yeah.
And guess what, bro? You're now the expensive one.
What do you think?
When
Do you
you're
think
in
they're gonna
cap
move him?
trouble.
Do you think they move him on this game, Or do you think they gave him more chances than
I don't
that?
think they move him
Well,
because I thought he played pretty well outside
they-
of the egregious penalty.
Yeah.
The reality is that after playing with 19 skaters in this game, they are allowed the exemption for the next game where they
Sure.
get basically a
A
free
free player.
player.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they'll have that,
and-
so they probably won't. But he's lucky that that's the case.
I mean, it's a very quick turn of the coin.
Because
for the
I don't
Avs,
think
right?
he played anything that he did. I don't think he played nearly well enough to justify the fact that he once again took a needless penalty.
The penalty was bad. I'm not trying to argue against the penalty.
It's not that he's not doing things that you like,
Right.
because he is. But when you're talking about impacting a game, are all the little things that he does that you like impacting the game as much as the one penalty that he takes where they score and then
Look, man.
you're all the work that you've done,
Look,
all
man.
the climbing back
Look.
and all of the positive energy
Look.
and the good vibes, and you're feeling good and you're going all hippie
He's-
into it. And then all of that collapses because the kid can't not.
Look, he did.
And then your goalie's playing like
He
crap.
did a really good job of a guy with his head down just accidentally skating into him. All right, he did a really good job of that. But
He played some good defensive shifts out there, though, as well.
And it's hard for me. It's hard for me to wrap around holding this game against Sampo Ranta again because the Avs roster was nonsense. The dude was playing F3. Sampo Ranta was playing F3.
I get it.
In the defensive zone for a number of shifts.
I get it. There were some problems. I'm frustrated with what's the plan here and
Sure.
what's the leash,
Sure.
because and this isn't even, I'm not even going to grind the axe of they didn't call up the guy I wanted to. I'm leaving that I don't care today.
There are so many factors in that yeah.
Right. I'm just leaving it behind, but I just don't. I'm just struggling to say, well, what or to understand, what's with the free pass here. We always hear, no passengers, and guys who take penalties get end up predictably end up in the doghouse, and all of these things are happening, and it's nothing. None of the upside is there so far, outside of he occasionally runs into a guy.
Yeah.
But you're talking about all of the puck skill. He made the one nice charge to the net, and that was encouraging. And he lost the puck because he got his stick lifted just ever so slightly, and he was it completely took him out of it.
I think there were some other plays that he did, though. He set up some nice plays out there as well.
I'm just the cost of the risk reward here, where I'm just
Sure.
I'm trying to understand, because if Bednar's gonna set up this, if he is going to give the young guys opportunities and let them fail like this, I'm all for that. That is
that's
something that
fine.
I have argued for.
But you wanted across the board.
Right.
Yeah.
But if a Shane Bowers or a Martin Kaut or pick a guy, pick a guy is going to come up and they're going to get an opportunity, I want to see the willingness to live with failure.
Yeah.
And if the argument is just that they just don't have the bodies right now, it's just not true. Because you could easily swap a Sampo Ranta for a Martin Kaut or a Shane Bowers or Bowers has COVID, so not Bowers in this case, but a Kaut or a Mikhail Maltsev, get crazy and go with Jean-Luc Foote. What I'm just saying is that a young guy that makes himself replaceable, it is understandable when they get replaced. But when they make themselves replaceable and the coach just kind of shrugs and goes, all right, well, we'll see you tomorrow. You're like, okay, well,
By the way, Maltsev
kind of
scored maybe one of the coolest goals
dude, it
in
was
Colorado Eagles history.
so
the other
sick.
night.
Oh, yeah.
That thing was
If
so
you haven't
sick.
seen that highlight, go find
Go
it.
look that up.
It
It's
was
on
so
Twitter.
sick, yeah.
It is sick.
A part of the thing tonight that I do want to get to and talk about, Blaze, you played defense, correct? Or were you a forward?
Yeah, I played both. But
Both? All right.
As I got older, I started playing defense.
As you do. When you're lanky and big.
Yeah.
They say, you might be a good defender. What is your take on this? Because I thought, especially in the second period, the Avs defense felt like they were pressing really, really hard. And maybe part of that is to make up for a lack of high-end talent on the forward core, but what's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, you saw a lot of rushes coming from the point, right? And I thought it looked great, and it confused St. Louis. I thought they were a little lost on their assignments, and it opened up some of the ice for the Avs to make some great plays out there.
I mean, forget
Byram.
the point. The last 40 minutes of the game, Keelan McCarr was leading rushes, man.
You got to kind of like separate him from like normal defensemen, right? Like,
and in some way, Gerard too, because Gerard gets out.
Yeah.
When
for
they're
sure.
together,
Yep.
they don't do it quite in the same manner, but when they're apart, especially, each one of those guys very aggressively is
But
like,
if McCarr has the
"We
puck,
going, dog."
if McCarr has the puck, the coaches aren't going to be like, oh, yeah, you need to pass it off as quick as possible to get that out of the zone.
For sure.
It's like, hey, you've got free will to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And what St. Louis was giving them was ice to skate.
Yeah.
So you take it.
A weird scout, by the way. Why would you
give the Colorado Avalanche room?
The one thing that you look at Colorado's entire blue line, 5 of the 6 guys tonight, where you're just like, they're just going to do that.
Yeah.
They'll take it.
Yep.
And they're comfortable. And we saw it. Almost all of those guys, like Curtis McDermott tried to get out in the open ice once.
Yeah.
And had the one shift where he and his partner went back and forth. Made a couple of nice passes. Like I dunked on him earlier, but
Yeah.
made a couple of nice plays.
There was a shift or two in the offensive zone where it looked okay.
Dude, I talked about the upside as a forward. One of the things being that bomb of a shot that he has. We saw him unleash that thing. Yeah, whenever.
Seriously.
Come on. Come talk.
How are you?
Always good. It's just me and you and me. He's got the most weird stories.
Perfect.
All right.
We got to get him a mic.
We're getting all set up here.
Now we're talking.
All right. AJ, do you want to?
Go first.
Go ahead. Do you want to introduce?
How are you?
You know what? I'm always good.
Yeah?
Always. Especially on Saturday night. Love it. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Wonderful.
Yeah?
It's going to be a good night.
Yeah?
You're just starting, is it?
Correct.
It is just starting. When Michel
the
Goulet
game-
comes
the
and
game
sits
is
down
over.
with you.
The game is over, but the night's starting.
That is how it. That's usually how it begins,
That's
right?
how that works.
As soon as the game ends, that's when you go.
Yeah,
know what?
that's when things get going.
That's how that works.
So how was it honoring Pierre tonight?
You know what? That was awesome because Pierre has touched so many lives. Hockey players, outside hockey, and Pierre was an amazing man. It's kind of sad a little bit that obviously it's always sad. It doesn't matter. It's always sad. I lost my dad last year, so it's
Sorry to
just
hear.
it's just an amazing time. But
Chat.
Pierre was so good for a lot of people here.
Chat, since you're confused, this is Michel Goulet, former legend.
Still legend.
Still legend.
No,
Former hockey player, still legend. You're right. You're right. My bad.
I
My
like
bad.
the former, for sure.
Former and current legend. How about
whatever.
that?
I like the former for sure. That works.
Appreciate you being a good sport about it.
Yeah, it's always good.
Look, first of all, let me just shout out Lacroix Hockey, the Avalanche Alumni Association, for making what is hopefully the beginning of a very fun night for us on the show and us here at the DNVR bar. So we're looking forward to a good one. Hopefully a bunch more guests coming on the show as well.
Yeah. The good one are coming.
Not
Oh, it's not like that.
the good one's already here,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
more good ones are coming.
I
That's
get it.
right.
I get
More
it.
good ones.
The good one are coming. I like that. I'm just like a warm up for everybody else. That's fun.
So,
Where are you guys from? Are you from all here, or where you're?
pretty much here.
You are. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow, the
It-
Rockies, huh? Because
That's-
you guys don't know that.
Well,
A
not
pig-
this guy.
Hey, a pig is the Rockies.
We got a state of hockey guy over here.
hockey.
So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before your time, so it's okay. It's okay.
It was before my time, a little bit.
1979,
Yeah,
a little bit before my time.
79, 80,
Yeah.
81. I'm sorry. That was a good day.
Ed, look, I hear you, all right? Don Cherry coached in Colorado. I'm all
That's
for
why
it.
we kill him. Not because he was coaching, because his team was not that good.
Not
Well,
a
the
great,
Rockies.
not the best group of guys.
Beside Barry Beck, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
See? You guys like, oh my God, who's this guy? He knows hockey way too much.
That's why you're here. That's why we're happy to have you.
Yeah,
He's trying
absolutely.
To teach people.
Teach us a thing or two.
love
That's
it.
what
That's
we
right.
want.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
How much of the game did you pay attention to tonight?
A lot.
Yeah. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on it?
That was not a very good game for the Avalanche. I think they were really slow. They were like, nothing was working, you know. It's so hard because the season's so long, but you know what? I really like the Avalanche. I really like what they have. I really have the new people that are coming, the young people coming up. And it's going to be a really good season.
So, look, the game wasn't very good,
No,
but
It's true.
the pregame was better. So, I got to ask, do you have a favorite story of Pierre Lacroix?
well, the favorite story, Pierre's got so many stories, but Pierre was an amazing guy because he really wants to build you. He wants to build a franchise, wants to build what you want to do, what you can do for him as a team, as a player. And that's what he was. You know, Pierre was an amazing, I think he make all of us champion. You know, that's what he was. And basically that's Pierre Lacroix. You want to make sure you're successful, you are great, and you're going to score a couple goals. And that's what he was, you know. In his mind, that's the way he was thinking, and that's why you always learn from a guy like that.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, it's as the
You
ceremony
guys,
is
you guys ever
replaying
met
here.
Pierre? No?
Did not have the
never in
opportunity.
person.
Never,
Yeah,
never. So you guys don't know shit, really.
accurate.
I'm joking.
No, it's true. Accurate.
It's true.
That's
When it comes to
I'm
to Pierre, you
I'm
know.
joking.
that's. Look, tell us, inform us what it's like.
Told to give you this drink.
Oh, I love it. Thank you much. Thank you much. That's awesome. Oh, okay. It's even better.
I mean, what's it like to be in the room with a guy like that?
Well, the thing is, he was aware of everything was going on his team, on the ice, outside, you know, so it's really hard. Like, it was funny because when Joe was talking today before the game, how much he learned, I think we all learned from him. And he was such a guy who wants to share what he knew, and he was really proud what he knew. And that was I mean, it's one thing about what he did, because I was with the Quebec Nordiques in 89, 90. That was the worst team in the NHL. And he got in. He made everybody champion.
Look,
That's hard to do.
there's no doubt about it. The team built in Quebec is what certainly helped the
Amazing.
first Cup win in Colorado.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, but it's all the little thing he did, you know, before he got here. He made a few trade there. It was like, whoa. You know, I think at the end of the day, there's always a reason why you have a championship team. Because the guy on top knows exactly what he's doing. And I know that because I wasn't playing hockey for 16 years, and my team on top was not always the best. I hate to say it. But
The truth is the truth.
That's what it is. Seriously, guys, when you have a good team, it's because you start on top. They know exactly what they want, exactly what they need, and that's what it is. And Pierre was exactly like that.
The Avs put him into the rafters as an architect, and I think
Yeah.
that's a great word for it.
Yeah. No
Deserve
better
it.
a description, honestly.
He deserved it. You know, it was an amazing man. Like I say again, joy about life, joy about hockey, joy about food. he loves a lot of the stuff. So Pierre was an amazing guy, and he touched life to a lot of people. You know, and I had a chance to play with Joe and Foote and those guys, Lessician. But him, he's like he went to another level, and he was an amazing man.
I gotta ask. We have a gentleman from the state of hockey here. How do the Quebecois, I want to say it correctly, feel about Minnesota in competition for hockey?
Why you say that? Minnesota. Why?
He's from Minnesota. We have a Minnesota here.
You know what? We killed the North Stars.
That's what we like to hear. That is what we like to hear right
It's
there.
so funny because I had my 1,000 points against the North Stars.
That's sweet.
Love it.
Yeah.
The old building. But Minnesota is one of my favorite cities. People over there, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Always.
Minneapolis, St.
Awesome.
Paul, great place.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good
Awesome
food.
people.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's just an amazing place. And as you travel, you see place, you know, like the Chicago and Minnesota. Yeah, I like that.
What was
Very
your
nice.
favorite building to play in?
Montreal.
Montreal. Yeah.
Love Montreal. Love Boston.
Yeah.
Big Boston Bruins fan. Love that small rink. I had the most success of those two buildings.
In the garden.
But they call me the Weller Killer. Hartford Wellers. Oh,
Playing in the mall?
poor guys.
Really?
Mike Lute. Oh.
Really quickly, we have someone else who would like to join the show, so I'm going to have Blaze
Yep.
take a step out.
Oh, who's that?
Someone else.
Yeah, who wants to
There's
hop on?
there's like a whole bunch of people over here. I have
Yeah.
no idea who's
We have
about
really
to step
bright
onto the
lights,
show.
so we see
Yeah.
our silhouettes.
Yeah.
Genuinely don't know who's gonna hop on.
Oh. All right, we just destroyed the mic that he's about to use.
Wow. Hey,
Great news.
hey. Hey, guys. He looked like, he looked like I didn't put the handle of the puck a little bit.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Foote
For sure.
is on the show.
He is.
Footer, great to have you on. How you doing?
Nice to see you.
You too. Great to have you on. And you were in the building tonight, correct?
I was in the building.
Did you watch the whole game? Did you enjoy the game?
I love the game.
All right. How do you feel about it?
Well, it was a good hockey game. I mean, they're missing a few key players, and
Just a few,
St.
yeah.
Louis is a good team, but what I liked about the game and what I took away was the fight and Comfer and Jost at the end. They kept going, so that's a good sign. They can take a positive out of it for sure.
Let's
but
go.
I got to tell you a story about this guy.
Oh, go
Can I-
right
can I do
ahead.
that?
Fire off.
Yeah, it's you, Goo. My first training camp in Quebec City for the Nordiques, Goo was our best player.
Uh-huh.
And I was a rookie. Didn't make the team that year. I had to go back
Okay.
to junior, but
All right.
I don't know if Goo remembers this, but we were stretching, and he was taking shots on John Tanner, a goalie my age. And he comes to me and goes, Footer, where do you want it? I go, short side. He goes, $2. I go, okay. He goes, doink, short side, right?
On
I
the
go,
money.
Oh, my God. He comes back. He goes, double or nothing. Where do you want it? I go, high right. He goes, doink. He nailed it. I go, oh, my God. And he did it 2 more times. So this guy can shoot.
Took $16 from me in the end.
Yeah, and I had no money. I was,
That signing bonus goes quick, huh?
yeah. Remember that, Goo?
Yes, yes.
You do?
We were trying to make as much money as we can back then.
That's what the rookies were for, huh?
So,
I was making $49,000 a year.
It's pretty bad that I called my dad and I said, Goo just rinsed me, but I was on a payphone. Is that bad?
just old enough to know what a payphone
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
We're still doing all right on that one. Not that young. Look, obviously, the night, a lot about Pierre Lacroix Hockey, bringing you guys to us. Thank you very much to them, the Avs alumni. Footer, what's your favorite memory of Pierre Lacroix?
There's a lot of great memories with Pierre. I mean, you hear people talk about Pierre, and he loves family, and he wanted to show us that it's about family. He thought we could win. But I said it earlier tonight, in my opinion, every NHL team or a sports team, you need presence. And we needed, we're a bunch of characters. We need that figure, and Pierre was that guy. And I loved one day he came down and he grabbed me. I loved how calm he was, and he was very classy. And I'm sure Goo knows Pierre in a different way, working with him up in the front office. But he grabbed me into the dressing room one day and he goes, "Hey, come here." And he was real quiet. And I go, "Oh boy!" Like it was the first time he's ever grabbed me or talked to me alone. And he goes, "You okay?" And I go, "I'm okay." He goes, "You're taking a lot of bad penalties." I go, "I always take bad penalties." And he goes, No, you're taking really bad penalties. I go, He goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Well, I have a bad shoulder. I feel like I'm like an animal, caught in a corner, and I'm snapping." He goes, "Okay, I get that. That makes sense." He goes, "Stop taking bad penalties." and he walked out. I go, "Okay, Pierre." But I love the way he was calm, and he did it one-on-one, and he didn't embarrass us, and we respected him. And when our families are, if we had a baby, or the first one, Coco and him would be the first one in the hospital, or if your kid got sick, he'd be the first one in the hospital. He really cared, and I think he developed something where we didn't even know it. Now that I've been retired and removed from the game, we wanted to play for him. Like we didn't want to let him down, and he created a really good atmosphere for us, and we were tight. We were a tight team.
Amazing.
Yeah.
AJ?
No, I mean, just we're trying to make tonight as much about Pierre, and just honoring the legacy that he built and the I guess all of you guys built together, and just the history of Avalanche hockey and what you guys brought and what you guys meant to Denver. I mean, the first pro championship in Denver,
Colorado
and you
history,
guys just showed up and changed the game. We didn't even know what was going on.
We had our hard days, right? Like Goo was in Quebec before I was, but there were some hard days, and I remember Peter Jennings saying, and the anchor, Peter Jennings, that's what he said. He goes, he was upset that Colorado won the first year because he felt bad for the Quebec fans. He really felt bad that it was removed. But I look at it another way. I go, would we have gotten Waugh if we were still in Quebec? Goo would tell you there's no way Montreal Straight and Waugh Quebec Nordiques, right, if we stay there. So, and as good as Foote was playing that year, no disrespect to Stéphane Foote, but if you're going to win, you need a quarterback. You need a goalie.
It's Patrick Waugh.
It's Patrick Waugh. Yeah.
It's hard to quantify the moves that Pierre made over the years, right? I mean, the team that ultimately ended up being Colorado that he built, not only in 96, but the one in 01 as well. I'm sure you have stories about playing with Rob Blake, Ray Bourque.
Yeah.
What's it like being surrounded? Look, you're one of the best players in Avalanche history, and you're surrounded by a cast of amazing players. What's that like, just being on a team of that level?
We didn't realize. I didn't realize how spoiled we were as far as we'd go to the rink every day, and we really weren't losing 2 in a row, which is a good thing. But then when I had to leave after the lockout, Pete and I left at the same time. We didn't want to, but it just had to happen. Pierre was real awesome with us about it. He called us, and when you go to a team where, no disrespect to those players, but you don't have a Patrick Waugh or a Sakic or a Forsberg, that core carries the load and makes us all look better, and when you're winning, it's fun, and when you're not winning, it's not a good time.
I think the way Pierre was just an amazing, the way he knew exactly what he need to win. Sometimes you have that one pieces that we don't have, and I'm telling you, all year he was like, we're missing that one piece, and that was him. And to me, he was that one guy that make all of us champion because of that. He was surrounding himself people that sometimes he didn't like what I tell him. He told him, because they disagree on players. But at the end of the day, we were just trying to make all of us better, and that's him.
What's it like? Footer called you the best guy on the team in his first training camp. What's it like being the vet that has to take care of guys, the rookies?
Well, I was getting older. He was like just a young man, but it was we know that Adam, Joe, Lessician, all those guys, they were the future. But to me, I was going from 10 years having a decent team, good teams, to a team that, oh my God, they need to rebuild. That's not easy. And I knew I need to change, but at the end of the day, they were in the right track because those guys are unbelievable players, and that's why it's it's an easy things to say. When you have good players, you win. But to get those good players, you need the team, the management that want those players, and it's so hard. It was so hard because I went from a player to the management. It was amazing how hard it was, because you deal with egos, you deal with monies, it's not that simple, guys. From here, it's nice. But when you're in the business, it's really hard.
Yeah.
What kind of role did Pierre play in helping you transition from being a player and getting into management?
It was huge. It was huge because his mentality was totally different. Mine was like ex-players, and you think you know a lot, but you don't know a whole lot either.
Bye.
You don't know a whole lot, and Pierre really taught me how to handle players, how to talk to players, what to say and what not to say, because it's very hard. But it was good. Pierre was an amazing guy for me, and at the end of the day, it's hard to find people like him, because he make the game, you enjoy the game. You enjoy winning, not enjoy losing, but you enjoy the game, try to make it better, and that's what it was.
Foote, when you got towards the tail end of your career, did you ever talk to Pierre about transitioning into that kind of getting more into the management side of things, or was coaching always something?
No, I did not. But I remember when my last couple of years, it just was. I don't know if I couldn't recover. I knew my legs were going. I knew it was time to retire, and I remember being in San Jose, and we're on a road trip, and I called Pierre. I've never called him, like, call the GM.
Sure.
And I'm like, hey, Pierre, can we talk? And I'll never forget. And he goes, yeah, come down to my room. And I went down to his room. He goes, what's going on? And you hear Peter Forsberg talk today about his spleen, and Pierre wouldn't let him play because he was concerned about his health. And I walked in, I was all emotional, and he goes, everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I go, I think this is it for me. I can't do it anymore. And I go, and he's like, yeah. Like he was so real, so comforting. He's like, Footer, you went a long time. You're good. No problem. You're not letting us down. I go, why do I feel so bad? I go, but I just knew I was done, and he handled it so well with me, and I think I was feeling guilt, and he